we as marketing agencies are selfish, and that's good for all businesses. And do you know what that is? Because we know that if we're not going to get you a good result, we're not gonna get any. It's going to be more difficult for us to get more business.
So this week we're going to be talking about outsourcing your marketing. So is outsourcing your marketing for you? When is a good time to outsource, and should you outsource? So obviously we're a digital marketing agency, and we're going to try our best to be as impartial as possible.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, we're being transparent. There is pros and cons to both, isn't there? So we're kind of putting the cards on the table and weighing up the options and you know giving you some information to make an informed decision whether it's for you. So do you want to kick off?
Yeah. So obviously the normal the most common pro of outsourcing the marketing is the fact that you don't actually have to keep a team in office, right? So one of the biggest expenses for big companies and businesses in general is keeping teams and paying employees, basically to have them on payroll.
Hiring teams as well.
Hiring
HR
teams,
costs.
HR, all that stuff. You have to have certain policies in place if you've got more than 5 people working on your team. Hiring a big marketing department, even though that consists of 1-2 people, can tip things over the edge with just unnecessary costs. It's weird to say it because we are a digital marketing agency, but again, trying to be impartial as a business owner, you can always sack a digital marketing agency at whatever point. Not us, because we too good, obviously, but we get we we But yeah, no. So honestly, if something's not working out, I mean, we sometimes don't work with clients because we don't feel like we're on the same level, or we feel we can't bring them results because we don't feel like they're aligned with what we value, etc. and etc. So you can pick and choose. You don't have to. Whereas if you hire someone and after 3 weeks it's not working out, you're in a bit of a predicament because it's not that easy to let someone go, especially if it's a team. So you've got more flexibility when you're working with an agency. There's more you can sort of play with and adjust as opposed to if you're hiring someone.
Yeah, 100%. And just going back to the cost, if you hire an in-house team, you got to pay for the software, the extra desk space, things like that. And when you're hiring someone in-house, you got to pay for them 40 hours a week plus. So with an agency, you only pay for the essentially the time that you take, and it can be a lot more cost effective. But again, it depends on the size of your company. And part of an agency, without getting results, you're not doing your job, and if you're hiring someone to do that, then it might be a little bit longer until you can get rid of them, essentially, isn't it? So
essentially,
they don't tend like a marketing team. They don't tend to come with a 30-day rolling contract. There's trial periods and things like that, but again, it's a lot harder to get rid of people, and finding the right people in the first place, that's really difficult. So
it is.
That's a big part. And when you're looking to bring an in-house team, at the end of the day, it is good to train and nurture your staff, but again, that's costly. If you're looking to hit the ground running straight away, then that is expensive and it takes time. So when the staff are away from the job, when the training, that is again lost time and money. So
with an in-house team, all it takes is one person to be pregnant and you have to hire someone else for the next 12 months, right? And it's just one of those things where you just have a lot more flexibility if you outsource it. But on the other hand, if you're looking to build a culture within your company, you're looking to have that feeling of sense of a team sort of putting together for the good of the business, etc. Then obviously it's going to be difficult for you to want to outsource marketing, because that's a very, very big part of every business. Marketing is a huge part of every business. It's the reason the business grows. So if you're building a legacy, you're going to want in-house marketing. So I can understand why it will be a difficult job to outsource it to an agency that's not part of that team. But on the other hand, what we do see sometimes, and some of our clients do this, they actually have marketing departments, marketing teams, or marketing directors at least. They just hire an agency part-time to help manage certain things. So they might have a marketing department that specializes potentially in traditional marketing, but no one on the team has any idea about one particular area, i.e., Facebook advertising or something. In which case they bring in the specialists as an agency that outsource externally, as opposed to hiring just a Facebook advertising consultant to come in internally on the payroll. They outsource that one singular part. So that's like a it's fair to say it's like a hybrid, because if you've got a marketing team sort of already, or a marketing director, and they're just sort of getting a bit of help on the outside, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna, if it's just one sort of marketing director within the company, they're not gonna be able to do everything. They're always gonna have to use either freelancers or external agencies to help them with things. So that's a bit of a hybrid solution there. We see that quite often. We jump in on some consulting projects sometimes with marketing directors, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. And when people come to us and ask what's the unique selling point and why we're different, I would say that it's the fact that we're looking for partnerships rather than just like a yes man situation. In fact, if you're looking for an employee, they don't want to they don't want to kind of say things out of the blue that might necessarily I don't know if offend's the right word, but some employees might be too scared to speak out. But us as a company, we only want to work with other companies that are open to listen to our opinions, because we work on this kind of thing day in, day out, and I think a fresh view on things is a really good option. And we do consultancy with companies, and they have got established teams already, but they just want some outside views and things like that, because it may not be like reinforcing of an internal person's opinion, but it's just a second opinion, so we might see things that they don't see, or they might not be using the same software as we're using. So
no, I like what you said about the yes men. Very much so. Like, you can see, I mean, it depends on the company, it depends on the culture in the business, but you can, like you said, if you're hiring a marketing of 5 people, they're just there because they're paid to be there. They're doing a job for another experts in the departments, but at the end of the day, they're not going to want to do something that's against what their knowledge and expertise says, because they know they'll be out of a job potentially if that happens. Again, that's not saying every company does that, but that was if I was an employee in a company on a marketing team, and my employer said, or my manager said to do one thing, but I knew that was either stupid or not going to bring any results, or was sort of reversed. As an employee, I'd be a bit scared to go and say, no, you're doing that wrong. You, as someone that's my manager or whatever, you're doing that wrong. I'm going to do it my way. I'd be a bit scared to say that. Whereas as an agency, we always in that position of strength, saying we're not going to do that for you, because we know it's not going to bring you results. So I know we ethically, as Fly High Media, don't want to bring in. There's several projects that we've turned down because we know that that's the way the client wants it is not going to bring in results. And if that was an employee-employee situation, that wouldn't have gone down very well.
That's it, yeah.
So that's where the expertise from the external sort of sources.
The external, the external inputs, invaluable, isn't it? And if that in-house marketer is working on your company 24/7, they're going to be just focused on that. Whereas we're working on lots of different projects, and we're getting lots of different ideas, and we're learning from multiple sources every day. And
working on one campaign with client A will show some results and some loopholes that we can then use on working on project B with client C, whatever, So it's we get to dip our toes in many, and all agencies do. We get to dip our toes in many different projects, many different audiences. Like, one day we're working on attracting a lot of B2B clients, and one day we're working to bring in customers to a furniture shop, and it's just the sort of differentiation that allows us the diversity in expertise to then be able to go into these companies and say, we've worked on this, and this. Whereas I don't think you can get sort of that feeling with just an employee.
Yeah, and another, if you're watching this right now and you've outsourced your marketing in the past, and some of the points you may be thinking, I've hired an agency in the past and they're just talking in technical terms all the time. Again, that's one of the reasons why we do what we do. Everything's in clear English. The reporting we do is completely in plain English. Depending on the knowledge of you as a company, we can talk in whatever terms is suitable for you. If you want a full breakdown of which links we built and things like that, then that's fine. But if you just want a general overview, again, that's fine too.
And that's the sort of differentiation we see. Again, we see that with some of our clients. Like sometimes we deal with marketing directors within businesses, and they know sort of a bit of the lingo that we're talking about. But sometimes we're dealing with the managing director or the CEO, and they have zero idea about marketing.
They
And
just
then
literally just want to know the bottom line, which is fine. But
they just come in and say, I want more I want more sales, and then it's for us. It's up to us to say, okay, so you need more leads to you need more traffic, you need more leads on your website, you need a better conversion rate, you need some conversion rate optimization, you need some SEO. And this is how we're going to get you those results. And some people want to know more about it. Some people are just like, I don't care, just do it.
exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, and another misconception is, not having very good communication. And again, like that's something that we pride ourselves on. So, a lot of phone support for some companies, it's like it comes at like a premium. So like you have to pay extra for that. But again, that comes in.
That's ridiculous. I
Yeah.
can't stand that.
Again, as part of an agency, it's your role to put the customer first. And at the end of the day,
100%.
it's not money first. It's the customer experience first. Because once someone becomes a customer, a big part of that's retaining the customer and, having that good relationship with them to, create long-lasting results,
Yeah.
But again, communication's key, and, if you're not talking to your marketing agency at least once a month, then, there's something wrong, if you can't even, like more than once a month, checking in as much as possible is good. Maybe not, every day. That's a bit of an extreme. Because we're not afraid to say it. Like, micromanaging it just doesn't work, does it?
Oh no.
From our experience,
That's one of the biggest reasons we don't work with some clients.
That's right. Yeah. So, again, that's us being honest and kind of saying that. So, we'll put it on the table and say whatever, and that's one of the key values that we put into everything we do.
And also another honest bit of transparency. We as marketing agencies are selfish, and that's good for all businesses. And do you know what that is? Because we know that if we're not going to get you a good result, we're not gonna get any. It's going to be more difficult for us to get more business. When we get you good results, yeah, fantastic, you get more business, job done. But also, we're selfish enough to go, yes, we did that. We're proud to say that these are our results. That's going in our portfolio. That's going in our case study, and then we're able to use that to get more clients and help more people. And that's where the selfish part comes in, basically. So, we know that there's a benefit, obviously, for you as the client, for the business, because we're achieving you're achieving the goal that you want, and we're helping that happen, which is fantastic. But at the same time, we know that obviously there is something in there for us. And I think as an employee, again, unless you're looking to sort of get promoted sort of thing, you're not going to really step out your comfort zone, stay after 5 o'clock sort of thing, just to get in a few extra hours to get company in some extra sales, just because you're here for a 9 to 5 job, unless you're going for some sort of a promotional, some sort of a one-off scenario. Whereas I think with an agency, you always have the added incentive of, we're here to get our own bread and butter sort of thing. So we know if we're going to get good results, we're going to then be able to use that as a catalyst to get even more projects on board, basically. So that's where I was going with the selfish thing. But I think every agency sort of thinks like that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, even when you're hiring us, if looking at an employee versus an agency, we've got a big network and a big community of people. If we need to share ideas, then we'll ask for help and advice when we're in. We've got a really good big network, haven't we? So
yeah,
like hiring an agency, you get to benefit from that too. So when you hire us, it's kind of, you get our not physical address, but well, you can
if you want. It's a coffee machine right there.
Well, it's GDPR, so. But yeah, again, we got an open door policy, and we want to give as much value first rather than just think about ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
Right. So to wrap up, pros of keeping your marketing in-house: you get to have a team, you get to build a legacy, if that's something that you're after, and you get to have a closer relationship with your employees and your marketing team. Cons: it's more expensive. It's more difficult to manage if you want to make a change. It's you can't just easily sack someone, and you may lack creative ideas for marketing campaigns and things like that if things start to get a bit stale. And then outsourcing it, pros, you get obviously dedicated specialists that are, always testing new things and are dipping their toes in the industry all the time. It's cheaper, generally, depending on what level you're doing and how much you're bringing in and what kind of ROI you're looking for. But generally, the overheads are not a factor. Obviously, then the cons are, you don't get to keep people as employees. You don't get to experience the benefits of building the legacy and having a full office of people. But again, it depends on the company, it depends on their values, depends on what they're after, depends on what's their priority. If someone's priority is to build that legacy and to create that office full of people working for them, then they're going to want to do that because that's a long-term thing. But if at the moment your priority is just to build up capital, get as many sales in, and scale the business, I think outsourcing, and this is me being impartial, I think outsourcing is the way to go in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't really got much side to that, but yeah, again, it's being impartial. We've weighed up each side. So
yeah, let us know what you
yeah.
think, though.
Yeah, let us know what you think. If you're a business, let us know what size company you're at, and your opinions on where you're up
Let
to.
us know whether you have an in-house marketing team, whether you're outsourcing, whether you're doing a bit of both, whether you're outsourcing some parts and have a in-house marketing director, etc. We're always interested to learn about other businesses and what they're doing. So yeah, no, let us know and keep in touch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see you in the next one.